I was taking on the form of a cat out of necessity for a while. I didn't really want to, but I had no choice. I was too weak to assume a human form at the time, so I had to settle for something smaller, like a cat. What do you mean you were too weak? How'd you get weak? I can't explain it right now. It's a long and boring story, and you probably wouldn't understand because you have a pitiful human brain that thinks very linearly instead of thinking more spherically. Yeah, probably not. I don't know what you're talking about. I can't even understand the made-up sci-fi jargon in Doctor Who, so like, how would I be able to wrap my head around something like this? Do you remember when I fell into that lake in Clarice's garden? I wasn't paying attention, really, lost in my own world. When you're a cat and you can't communicate with anyone, daydreaming is all you can do to pass the time. Of course I remember. I almost fucking died. Tee hee hee. I suppose you have a point. You humans only have one life after all. I take it you spirits or whatever it is you are. I don't know. You have more? She taps her fingers against her nose, that teasing smile flitting about her face. Now, that would be telling. A woman has to have some secrets. I thought you said you weren't a girl. I'm not. There's a big difference between a girl and a woman. Alright, fine. I won't pry, but I still can't wrap my head around all this. Good boy. I don't appreciate that condescending fucking tone you're taking with me there, Missy. Alright? I'm 42, bitch. And yet, despite your age, you are nothing more than a child compared to me. Just how old is this girl? Sorry, woman. If we first met when I was 6, she must have a considerable head start over me. Isn't it rude to ask a lady her age, though? I was so happy when you tried to help me back then. I mean, I wasn't in any danger, but the fact a human would risk their life in order to aid me was touching. It wasn't touching, it was stupid. Don't be too hard on yourself. I appreciated it. People aren't very nice to us spirits, even when we masquerade as something else. Though they can never tell the difference, I think they can sense it. That might be true. My parents were never too, struck on Belle. Neither was I. I wonder why, though. Like, what are the general duties of your average run-of-the-mill spirit? Like, you just, like, out for dying and ferrying souls and heralding apocalypses or something? Like, what do you do exactly? If that's the case, it's no wonder these people are suspicious of her. I vowed ever since that day, when I had regained enough strength to take on a human form, I would find you and thank you. It became my mission, my reason for living, as it were, even though I am a spirit and I am not technically living. I'm flattered, but I don't, okay? But I did, at the time. I really did. I needed something to care about, something to strive for. I'd been a cat for so long, I was almost beginning to lose my sense of self. I was starting to forget who I was, and that's very dangerous for a spirit. Beings like me can take on other forms whenever we want, depending on how strong we are. But if we remain in one form too long and forget about our true selves, we'll be stuck. I was this close. She holds up her thumb to her forefinger. The distance between them is minute, microscopic. To forgetting, to condemning myself to live the life of a common house cat for the rest of my life. A life that would have ended far, far too fast. Cats can't live for nearly as long as spirits can. No, I wouldn't imagine that would be the case. I mean, I know we have established that my character's a little dumb, but I'm pretty sure even he could figure out a spirit would probably live longer than a cat, on average. I'm just saying. Just what am I talking about? I have no fucking clue what I'm saying. I've never met a spirit before. I have nothing to compare to this girl and the words that she's saying to verify her statements. She could be completely full of shit. How do I know this bitch is a spirit? How do I know? Can I get a fucking priest? Can I get a second judgment call here? I'm just saying. What am I gonna think about what she hears? What she's saying. Trying to make her feel better. Over the course of the last 5 minutes, I come to realize something. I don't like it when she frowns. Turn that frown upside down. There you go. Yeah, you smile. I'm glad you tried to save me, Robin. It woke me up from my stupor. Shook me by the shoulders. Metaphorically, of course, because cats don't have shoulders. Until all the lethargy accumulates over the years fell away. I'd almost begun to forget it was an act. I'd almost forgotten myself. You made me remember. You made me remember who I really am. You didn't save me from drowning. You saved me in a different way. You saved my identity. You saved not my physical body, but my sense of self. That's why I want to thank you so much. I'd be nothing more than a dead kitty, a stone-cold cat carcass, if it weren't for you. I wouldn't be able to talk, to cry, to laugh. I wouldn't even have opposable thumbs. Belle holds up her hands, bending each of her fingers in turn like a child showing off an art project to a parent. So, thank you. I can't thank you enough. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. She looks at me earnestly, her green eyes intense. I shiver. It feels like an invisible ghostly hand is brushing against every single vertebrae of my spine. This is a weird fucking feeling. I look away, flustered by her forthright honesty, and run a hand through my hair. I really am a typical man, bad with feelings, coward by confessions. Well, you already said thank you, so you don't need to kiss me. Was that also out of gratitude? Partially, maybe. It's because I realized something crucial. Okay, what's that? Saying thank you wasn't enough. Not after you helped me so much. You helped more than you could ever know. Her eyes flash like faulty street lamps, harsh and intense. I can see streaks of bright green pressed up close against my eyelids when I blink, burned inside my skull. Burned and burn! Burn it down! Shut up, Jack. You almost gave your life to help me. Now I want to return the favor. I eye her suspiciously. And how are you going to do that? Exactly? Like, what's the plan here? I'm getting a bad feeling about this. This dream, nightmare, hallucination, whatever you want to call it, it's become too real. I was playing along until now, waiting until I woke up, but it never happened. I don't think I'll ever wake up. Oh, I'm freaking the fuck out. Bizarre fantasies is impeded upon my mundane life, sticking to my skin and chilling my bones. It clings to me, one skinny arm threaded through mine, and stares at me with big round eyes, penetrating. Her breasts are small, much like the rest of her body, but they feel soft pressed against my arm. I don't know if she's noticed, or was that her intention all along. Her bare arms are exposed to the biting wind and falling rain, but she doesn't shiver. Her body is cold, but it feels yielding at the same time. For all her talk about being a spirit, a demon, a monster, fucking Cthulhu, she looks like a young girl to me. A young, consenting age girl to me. She's so short, I could rest my chin against the top of her black bobbed head. Whoa, Black Betty Bambalam. She must be around about the same height as Melly. That's not a good sign. That's not a good sign. She's just short. She's just short. She got height problems, you know. Some people are, vertically hindered. Okay, give or take a few inches. I'm gonna say give a few inches to height. She's probably a few inches taller. We're gonna say. I want to be with you all the time. I want to help you as you helped me, and give you a shoulder to cry on when things get tough, and a smiling face to congratulate you when things go well. I wouldn't be alive without your sacrifice, so I belong to you now. I'm all yours. What? What do you mean exactly? What does she mean, all yours? Humans aren't objects any one person can possess, no matter what marriage contracts would have you believe. You know, those darn marriage contracts and their bullshit. Though Sally shares my last name on legal documents, she still publishes, her translations under her maiden name. And we've been married for almost 2 decades, but, what do I know? Not that we belong to one another. I couldn't force Sally to even obey me if I tried. Trust me, I tried. I've been like, hey, Sally, But, bitch won't listen. Which I haven't, because, of course I haven't. The thing, I have respect for the woman. I have respect for her, okay? But respect doesn't count for all that much when neither of us particularly likes one another. Belle isn't a human, anyway. She's not even a cat. I don't know what she is. Maybe there are different rules in regards to possession when it comes to non-human entities. If there are, I wouldn't know. I've never met a spirit before. My God. You heard me. I want to devote myself to you. My entire being. My each and every eyelash belongs to you, and the dirt beneath my fingernails, and the teeny tiny bones inside my toes. I wouldn't be able to appear before you in this body if you hadn't saved me, so I owe you. I owe you a lot, in more ways than one. Without you, I would not even be alive. The cold wind makes me shiver. I should have worn my coat. Why didn't I wear my coat? Always wear a coat. I must have been in too much of a hurry. The argument I had with Sally made my blood boil. I needed to escape before I suffocated. The cold air was good for me at first. It cleared my mind. But now I feel uncomfortable. For more than one reason, I'm sure. She's standing close, far too close. The smells of the rain. Her hair sticks to her forehead, and her breasts are still pressed against my arm. It's cold, and I'm starting to feel warm. Uncomfortably so. Oh, so uncomfortably warm. Oh. Belle's green eyes flash like colored bands trapped inside glass marbles. One more thing. I'm still rather weak. I can maintain a human form, but I can only use it for a short while. Human bodies are difficult to materialize into being, even for a spirit such as myself. You're so intricate, like grandfather clocks. You'd never think it, but inside here, she taps her chest, but I don't think she's telling me to stare at her breasts. Although, you wouldn't know. What little she has, okay. Rather, she's imploring me to look beyond that, right past her pale skin, into the inner workings of her alien, unfamiliar cat-girl body. There's so much stuff going on all the time. So many organs and muscles and so much blood. I sure like the blood. My whole body is tethered together with cord and wire, run by electrical impulses, neurons firing in the brain. It's very hard to focus on maintaining such a precarious, delicate existence for so long. It's exhausting. If I let my guard down for even a moment, I'd just disappear into thin air like a candle being blown out. Oh man, I've never heard anybody talk about the human body in such an impassionate way. It's strange since Belle isn't a human herself. Maybe that's why she's so eager. People always get interested in the unknown. Why else do so many people long for the good old days? We always do it. Nostalgia harkens back to the past we did not even enjoy at the time. The grass is always greener. Everything's become more attractive with distance, even the finer workings of the human body. Perhaps, if I was not a human being, I would also find the respiratory system endlessly fascinating. Wasn't being a cat just as difficult? I mean, like, they have a lot of little bones, too, and they got tails, whiskers. Being a cat was difficult, but I grew used to it. A few decades will do that to you. Being a human, however, is rather new. I need some time. You've not assumed a human form before? Even as I ask the question, I feel myself wince. My left eye twitches. I must sound like a fool. This isn't the kind of thing I should say. This discourse has no place in civilized conversation. It's the kind of fanciful dialogue that might exist in a young adult novel or a TV show. But real life? My life? A cat girl? Not a chance. But I still ask all the time. All the same. And Belle responds in turn. She doesn't even blink. She still hasn't blinked. It's kind of creeped me the fuck out. Of course I have. How else would I know how to speak? It all comes with practice. Like riding a bike? Yup. Once you've done it, you don't forget. But it's been a while. Define a while. I can't. Spirits live longer than humans, so my perception of time is a bit off. But if you had to guess, like an estimate, I don't know. The last time I was a human was maybe 40 years ago, but I've been alive longer than that. Longer than you could imagine. Okay, wow. I don't know what to say to that. Should I turn it into a joke? That might be for the best if I don't want to go insane, presuming I haven't already. I don't know if I feel comfortable about this. I should probably ask my mother for permission before I start chatting to such an old lady. Belle giggles and swats me playfully like a cat batting a bird's carcass. Oh, good. I see she wasn't lying when she said she'd been a cat for so long. I'm surprised she hadn't tried to lick me yet. Oh God, please don't lick me. Or herself. Oh, please don't lick yourself. Oh no. No. No, Belle. No. I'd love to stay and chat, but I can feel myself getting faint. I might have to take my leave soon. But this won't be the last time you see me. I'll make sure of that. I will haunt you in your waking dreams, human. With that cheery exclamation, Belle stands on her tippy toes, and she plants a small kiss on the tip of my nose. Of my nose. You perverts. Jesus. The gesture is unexpected and strangely sweet. I stare at her stupidly. Alright, Robin. I'll see you soon. Much, much sooner than you may think. Tee-hee-hee. I'm not sure if I should take that as a threat or not. And what's with the tee-hee-hee? She isn't a cute schoolgirl no matter how hard she's trying. She isn't even a girl at all. She's a fucking spirit. Something vague and unfixed like a breath of air. The breath of the wild. Call the wild. Do spirits have genders? How many genders do spirits have? My God, we will never know. Did she assume a female form as an act of whimsy or a silly joke? I wonder. Perhaps she is trying to tantalize me. My God, but I don't have time to ask. As she quickly gets the fuck out. I blink once, twice, and Belle has already vanished. Her back melting into the surrounding darkness. My only friend. I've come to stare at the rain again. You know, turkeys drown by staring at the rain. I collapse against the railing of the bridge, sapped of strength. The iron bars are cool against my back, but my face feels hot. My nose tingles. I can feel the Rona, and her lips pressed against it. That soft and girlish kiss. I hold one hand against my nose gingerly, as though it belongs to somebody else, a different man. A better man, perhaps, whose wife still loves him, and whose daughter does not hide in her room every time he comes back home, because Daddy has a drinking problem. Alcoholism, folks. It's a serious issue. Why am I thinking about Melly now? About Sally now? Maybe it's guilt. It's because deep down inside, though I try to tell myself otherwise, I'm happy such a pretty young girl kissed me, especially a legal-aged cat girl. Of course I am. Despite the falling rain, her body really was warm. It as warm as a cat and a girl. When I return home, chilled from the wind and soggy with rain, among other fluids, I discover that the lights in the house are off. Sally must be asleep. I'm not sure about Melly. For all I know, she could be curled up in her bedroom, curtains drawn, reading a book, or searching the net with her old laptop. Or maybe she's just sitting there, staring at the ceiling, cursing me silently and watching cat memes. I have no idea. I don't understand children nowadays. I really don't know that much about Melly, do I? How on earth did we become so estranged? When did I become such a boomer? We're father and daughter. She's my flesh and blood. But she might as well be a stranger. I wish I could shrug it off with an oh well, and sometimes I can, but it feels far too pressing right now. Far too depressing, more like it. Suffering from extreme depression, I open the front door and step inside, closing it behind me with a soft click. I don't want to wake anybody up. I even try to stifle the jingling of my keys, though I doubt that small sound would be enough to rouse anyone. I'm still trying to be considerate. Some people would call that overcompensating. I lean more towards cowardice. I don't want to get drawn into another row. I don't turn the lights on. Instead, I grope my way up the stairs in the dark, like I did to that cat girl. One hand on the wall, the other on my cock, the other on the banister. I have 3 hands. Sally scolds me when I brush against the wall with my fingertips. She says it will stain the paint. Beige paint. Sally's kind of a cunt. The carpet is beige too. She's also a bitch. Why did we decide to carpet the stairs in beige? It shows every single speck of dirt, no matter how minuscule. And a tight-lipped Sally has to vacuum each and every step. All 18 of them. Every other week. It's almost as if Sally should have had better foresight. Maybe I should feel guilty for not cleaning the house more often, but Sally does work from home. Unlike me, she has more free time. Besides, she was the one who decided on the color scheme. If she likes beige so much, she can have it. But she's the one who'll have to deal with it. Kind of the way shit is, Sally. Damn, I really am a cold motherfucker, aren't I? So much for trying to be courteous. Why do I even bother leaving the lights off? I should have flicked them all on, then tramped up the stairs in my shoes, stamping on each and every step for good measure. I like to think I'm a decent person, but I'm not always sure. I can be pretty selfish at times. At least Belle likes me. That might be a small consultation. If it weren't beginning to doubt whether or not she actually exists. What the fuck is my existence? Maybe I've gone insane. Is that where Melly caught it from? The insanity? Oh my god, my schizophrenia is kicking in. It could have run in the family. Great Aunt Clarice was definitely a few cards short of a full deck, given she had all those cats. My god, if you have cats, it is a clear indication of your mental health. I let myself into my bedroom. No, not my bedroom. Our bedroom. And shrug out of my jacket. Silently. Sally doesn't stir. I could see her lying underneath the covers, curled up on herself. A lump that rises and falls in the dark. Oh my god, the darkness. She's lying on the left side of the bed, resolutely facing the wall. Does she still not want to see me? Sally looks younger when she's sleeping. Her blonde hair is loose, free from a bun, and falls over her pillow. Across her face, her pajamas is strangely cute for a woman 1 year short of 40. Shy of 40, a fucking demure white nightgown like something a student of Mallory Towers might wear. All of a sudden, I'm running through with a sharp, stabbing sensation. Guilt. Oh, fuck. I'm feeling sorry for being such a lousy husband, Sally Pally. You deserve better. She doesn't respond. Of course she doesn't, because she's asleep. Apologies don't mean that much when you forgot to say them out loud and when your spouse is asleep. That's kind of part of the apology, is them being awake. My god, it's May 12th. It's a fucking Wednesday, my dude. Oh no.